So you're probably looking for some landscaping ideas and you want to put in Florida native plants, and this whole series is going to cover it. We're going to go from this invasive plant to just a whole thing, a whole fun thing of shading out, getting the natives in. It's going to be super fun and exciting. And each one of these episodes in the middle here are going to cover one of the plants that we see in the video. But we're going to first start off with our invasive plant, snake plant. So today on Wild Florida, we're talking about snake plant. Okay, so this is snake plant. It's also called, scientific name, Draught trifascius? Yeah, okay, also called mother-in-law's tongue, St. George's sword, or viper's hemp bowstring. I've never heard anyone call it that, but that's what they said on the internet, so we'll go with it. So that's the plant. It is a very hardy plant, so hardy that this was a part of a study that NASA did, which I remember reading this article like a year ago. They looked at 29 plants that could help, absorb the carbon dioxide, add some oxygen back into the space station. And then they also wanted to see how it interacted with what they called volatile organic pollutants that were in the air in the space station. So they looked at 29 houseplants, and the winner chicken dinner was, of course, the snake plant. Yay! Which just shows how hardy it is. Like in space, it's helping do good things. But here in Florida, it's technically not considered an invasive plant as of the recording of this video. But University of Florida is currently listing it as predicted to be an invasive plant. And basically what happens is they assess a plant and then they reassess it 10 years later. So it's coming up on its 10-year mark, and basically they're saying we think we're gonna call it invasive. So not something you want to add to your yard, though it's a very common house plant that people use. It's pretty vigorous when it grows. And the thing is what makes it hard to stop the spread is because it grows through its rhizomal structure down here in the bottom. It's native to Africa, Congo, Nigeria area, which is not surprising, right? It's another subtropical, tropical area, which is similar, and a lot of those plants do really well here. So, fun story. My husband and I, not knowing much when we were starting gardening, we put it in. We found about 11 of these plants in our yard. I think the previous owners had a house plant, they stuck it in the ground and it started to spread. And I, wanting to fill in this area, which was just a mess at the time, we took out whatever was here, found 11 plants, put them here, and now, 5 years later, here we go. So we're going to be taking this plant out. So the big thing we're going to be focusing on is getting rid of this rhizomal structure, but here's the problem. It has flowered throughout the years, and I know a lot of people are like super proud when it flowers, and like it's exciting when that happens. Problem is that means now I probably got a bunch of seeds. So this is going to be something that as we take it out and we get the native stuff in, I'm going to have to keep an eye on and continue to probably just pull them when they're young and I can find them. This is what we got to do. This is what we're going to do. Okay, cool. So in the snake plant's native range, this plant can get up to 4 feet tall. But here in Florida, usually it's gonna hang out around that 2 foot, 3 foot range, so not super tall. So on the internet, you probably are hearing on the Googles, they're probably saying things like houseplants, they can clean your air, and you might be like, hello, don't take those out, they're cleaning your air. Well, maybe. I mean, the study that they're using is that NASA study that was looking at the space station. So in theory, if it was cleaning the air in the space station, it should be doing something. But the thing is that 29 plants were looked at and a whole bunch of them were shown cleaning the air. Snake plant was just the best. by all the numbers of clean air. A lot of them were doing the same thing, just not necessarily as well. Which basically tells you that lots of plants are cleaning the air or absorbing things out of the air, like these volatile organic components. So doesn't mean like you shouldn't plant other things. That's all it's saying. And it doesn't actually mean that it technically cleans your house air. You don't have to think through all the conditions. Someone needs to do a scientific study on that. I'm not doing that. Maybe you'll do it. I don't know. Go check it out. But this is gonna go. Bye-bye invasive plant. So there's a better picture of the rhizome we were talking about. I clearly snapped it off right there, but this is what they're seeing. And you can see there's 2 plants. Yep. So to remove this, what I'm probably gonna end up doing is using a garden fork and a mattock to kind of pull all this off. This area has a lot of deep mulch because I was trying to use it to suppress other weeds, not this plant. So I'm gonna have to pull back the mulch, and then as I do that, I'm gonna try to get up and under these and try to pull them up. They are not hard to pull up. The biggest thing is that you just don't want that structure to break, because kind of like sweet potatoes, they're just gonna keep coming back otherwise. So the more you can get of that, the less you're gonna have. And right when you put your new plants in, you don't wanna be constantly pulling stuff out because it's gonna keep damaging the plants you want, roots. So adios, Mr. Snake Plant. Now that we've got all that snake plant removed, it's time to go add our first Florida native plant, beautyberry. And to make sure you don't miss it, go ahead and like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notification. New videos each week on Friday and sometimes a bonus on Sunday. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.